Today we're exploring Pinot Noir from its roots in France to its New World destinations in the United States. Welcome to The Wineful. I'm Scott. I rate wines based on the drinker, not some subjective 100-point rating scale. If you're new to the channel and you like the content, I hope you'll consider subscribing. It is free after all. This week we're looking at a wine varietal that I really didn't appreciate until the last 5 to 10 years. We all make mistakes. I mean, I still think rosé is sweet, but we're gonna blame that on white Zinfandel. Yeah. Moving on! Pinot Noir is believed to have originated in the Burgundy region of France. And there's our first fun fact. The primary grape used to make red Burgundy is Pinot Noir. So if you want to explore and try a French Pinot Noir, don't look for Pinot Noir on the label. It won't be there. The French name their wines after the region, the towns, the villages that the grapes are grown in. Today we'll also be trying Pinot Noir from California and Oregon to see the differences between Old World Pinot Noir and New World Pinot Noir. So what should we expect from Pinot Noir? Medium to light body, lighter in intensity, so not as deep red as your Cabs or even your Merlots. On the nose, you're gonna get red fruits like cherry, raspberry, and strawberry, along with some earthiness, flowers, and sometimes even herbs and spices. On the palate, those fruits and earthiness really come through with some subtle oak and balanced acidity and tannins. That balance of characteristics is why if I was introducing someone to red wine, this would be my go-to choice. But enough of the technical stuff, let's get to taste. First up, we're starting at the wine's point of origin, France. This is the 2019 Maranges Premier Cru from Maison Pagnotta in La Fussiere, France. I purchased this last summer for $23 and it's 13.5% alcohol by volume. So nice color, that a little bit of purple, but mainly that kind of ruby color. Those dark red fruits on the nose, a little bit of oak. Not a very intense aroma, but it could also be the cavernous glass I'm using. It's really a cab glass. Not a Pinot Noir glass. Let's give it a try. Cheers. Dry. That's good. All the red fruits. Mainly cherries. Quite dry, actually. A little bit surprisingly dry. But French. French tend to be we don't get the rounded fruit flavors that we do from California that we might see in this California wine. Cooler climate is gonna tend towards, not quite as ripe fruit as you're gonna get from California. I like a good French wine, French red especially. Nice dry wine. This would go great with a lot of different things. Pinot Noir, lamb, chicken dishes, French cuisine, roasted vegetables would all be great with this. I'm gonna put this at a Wineful level 2. The dryness will be off-putting to some people. This is a little bit more complicated than, a standard Pinot Noir, I would say. California Pinot Noir, I'm imagining that this is a little bit more complicated. This is great. This is something that'll age well as well. Some of the best Burgundies in the world are Pinot Noir based Burgundies that will age and age and age. This is something, this is 2019, so we've got 5 years on it. I could see this going probably another 5 to 10 years, and this would be really an excellent wine. Next, we've got a bit of a wild card as I sort of just grabbed this off the shelf without doing any research. I needed an Oregon wine, and I was in a shop that I don't typically go to, and I kind of just grabbed it. So yeah, it should be fun, right? Right? This is a 2022 A to Z Pinot Noir from A to Z Wineworks. Took me a few times to get that. This is from Oregon. As there's no region provided, that means that the grapes used could come from all over the state. If it said Willamette Valley, we'd be looking at a Willamette Valley, Oregon Pinot Noir. In this instance, it simply says Oregon, which means the grapes have to come from somewhere within the state. Maybe that's what they mean by A to Z. They used the whole alphabet to make this wine. This was $21, and similar to the French wine, it's 13.5% alcohol by volume. So right off the bat, before I even really kind of looked at this, when I poured it, I could smell it. Big difference between this and the French wine. The French wine really had to kind of like shove my nose in the glass. This one is leaping out at me, very fruit forward, which again, when we talk about characteristics, fruit forward can put some people off. They don't really want to have that big punch in the nose of fruit. Okay, so oak, big difference, oak and fruit. Similar coloring, not as intense actually as the French wine. Still in that ruby, maybe leaning a little bit more towards garnet as opposed to the purple. Mushrooms, which might be that earthiness that they talk about. Definitely lots of red fruit, plums, those like heavier notes. All right, let's give it a try. Cheers. Fuller bodied than the French one. French one kind of just didn't linger on the tongue much. Good flavor. This one hangs around a bit. Bolder. I would expect this to be from California, actually, given the flavor profile. Yeah, a much bolder Pinot Noir than I'm expecting. Not quite as dry as the French. A little bit more fully bodied. I feel like the French wine's a little bit more refreshing from a red wine perspective. This one's a little flat because it doesn't have those nice tannins. Tannic, but not as tannic as the French wine. I want a little bit more acidity out of this. I don't think it's there. I'm not sure that the balance is quite right. Tannins are good, but it feels a little flabby, which is to say that there's a lot of fruit, there's a lot of flavor. Tannins are good, but without the acidity to kind of balance it out, it doesn't feel quite as rounded as I expect out of a Pinot Noir. Maybe it needs more time out of the glass. Not sure. An okay red, not my favorite. So far, I prefer the French. This is closer to a wine full level one. I'm not thrilled about this though. It's okay, not impressed. And I guess that's what I get for just kind of rolling the dice and grabbing something off the shelf. Pinot Noir from Oregon is world-renowned. It does fabulously there. This isn't a fabulous Pinot Noir. Last, we have the 2022 Trader Joe's Grand Reserve Pinot Noir Lot 23 from Carneros, California. As always, their Grand Reserve was $12.99, and this wine is a whopping 14.7% alcohol by volume. A heavy hitter, definitely. So let's see how this stands up to the rest. Some nice notes, no oak to speak of necessarily. A hint of it. Lots of good fruit on the nose. Cherries. Very light wine intensity. Can see kind of right through it, as opposed to, I think we got a little bit more intense the further back we went. There's a brightness to it that the other two didn't have, so I'm curious what it'll be like on the palate. Cheers. This is kind of what I expect from a US-made Pinot Noir. Good fruit, no one particular flavor profile comes through. Good solid fruit notes, really nice. Trader Joe's, you know, we've seen on this channel before, we've tasted wines. Their California stuff is good. It's great for 13 bucks. What can I say? Am I a Trader Joe's cheerleader? Maybe a little bit, but it's good quality wine at a great price. So kind of hard to miss. This is the kind of red wine I would introduce to somebody who is new to red wine. Great flavor, no imbalance in acidity or tannins, mild tannins, really, like silky, as they say. This is a nice, easy drinking Pinot Noir. Kind of hard to beat. Is the French wine very good? Yes, it is. This is a wine full level one. This is the kind of thing that I would say, if you're looking to get into reds, head over to Trader Joe's and buy yourself a bottle of the Pinot Noir, the Grand Reserve. Can't go wrong. This is an easy drinker, no matter the weather. I could drink this in the summer. This is great during the winter. You know, we northerners tend to, you know, drink our reds in the winter and our whites in the summer. I do the same thing. I'd be perfectly happy drinking this during the summer as well, though. Not, doesn't feel hot. There's certain wines that feel hot. I feel like a cab. It feels heavier. It's a fuller body, lots of tannins. It's great. It just feels like I'm going to be sweating, 5 minutes after drinking it. This feels like something I could comfortably drink outside on an 80-degree day, 80 plus, and still be comfortable and still enjoy myself. So that wraps up this week's episode. What did you think? Are you a Pinot Noir fan already? Have you tried a red Burgundy in the past? Let's talk about it in the comments section below. Until next time, continue to stay foolish and cheers to drinking better wine.